powerful. In front of us, we have the login screen. Each user gets his or her own password to log in with. Or alternatively, biometrics can be set up and they can log in with fingerprints as well. In front of us, we have the main screen. Mainly point of sale, Stockmaster, My Pawnshop, which hosts all the functions needed to run a pawn shop with Easyas. Notes, clients, calendar, phone book, orders, suppliers, send SMS. On top, we have 5 drop-down menus, the clock in and out button, and at the bottom, the gear will take us to settings, and the question mark opens a support menu. The first feature we will be exploring is the point of sale. Starting off with how to search for a product in your Stockmaster. In this instance, we will be searching for the item wash. Clicking on the KB button next to the search bar opens an on-screen keyboard, which is touchscreen compatible. Pressing F2 on your keyboard will switch you from search mode to scan mode. Here you can scan PLU or barcodes. On the right-hand side is a quick scan option. Notice how after switching this on, scanned items are automatically added and do not need you to press enter. This feature can be turned on in the settings to increase the flow of things. The buttons we will be covering next are pretty straightforward. Delete removes and item. This can be disabled for individual users. The plus and minus buttons increase and decrease the amounts on the invoice. Pressing F4 or clicking on void sale gets rid of the current sale. Pressing F7 will hold a sale. We use this for when a client needs to go fetch something as a way to not hold up the line. F8 will bring up a list of sales that are on hold. F3 will end the sale. There are 5 different payment methods. Other can be renamed simply by right-clicking on it and entering its new description. Clicking on the tip button will ask you how much of the change the client would like to donate. You can enter a client's details on their receipt by clicking on the Invoice to button. Here you can add in the details or click the button again and search your current client base. At the bottom, you will see a button pop up, which adds the balance owed on the client's account to the invoice. At the bottom, you will see buttons. These can all be edited by pressing F11 and then clicking on one of the buttons. To assign an item to this button, you can just search for item. On the right-hand bottom corner is a tab edit button. Clicking on these will let you rename the button tabs. To remove a button, turn edit mode back on. Click on the button and just erase the description. The More button opens a screen displaying all the sales done on the computer for the day. This is also where the cashier will go at day's end to do a cash up. Double-clicking any item will open the invoice for viewing or to reprint. The program also allows for cash on delivery sales. At the bottom of the screen is a COD checkbox. Clicking this will ask you to fill in the client's details. These sales won't be added to today's sales automatically, but rather will wait for you to finish the sale. Clicking on the yellow text underneath the checkbox will open unpaid cash on delivery sales. Here you can choose the sale, method of payment, and to which day's sales you would like to add it. Now that we have covered all the buttons and features, we will be going over all the different types of sales. First up, we have a normal cash sale. By clicking on the top right drop-down box, we can select transaction type. Account sales are fairly similar to cash sales. First, we need to select the account we will be assigning the sale to. Account sales don't ask for payment methods when ending a sale. The amount gets added to the client's account instead. Account receipt lets you make a payment on an account. It shows you the balance due and lets you enter the method of payment. Quotations can be done for walk-ins or existing clients. Easyas has a built-in lay-by system as well. First, choose the client, then the items the client wants to take. The program will ask you how much of the invoice total the client wants to pay as deposit. The lay-by payment transaction will take you to our lay-by screen. Here you will see all the lay-bys on the system. By double-clicking on the lay-by you want to pay, you will get a pop-up screen showing all the items in the lay-by. We will cover more on this later. For now, I will just show you how to make a payment. Our next transaction type is petty cash out, which can be used for a variety of payments, like for instance paying your supplier. When doing a petty cash in, the description can be changed to what you need it. Refunds are straightforward. It helps knowing the invoice number you would like to refund. The system won't let you refund something that is not an invoice. In this instance, 30 is the lay-by we just did. Entering the correct invoice number auto-fills the invoice. You can edit the items that need to be refunded before ending the sale. Ending the sale will give you your refund options. Our next transaction type is vouchers. Vouchers can be used as a gift or as a way to refund non-account clients without giving them actual money. Vouchers can be redeemed by entering the voucher number on the payment screen. Or, if they have the voucher slip, the barcode on it can be scanned. The last type of transaction we will do is an exchange. By clicking on the exchange text box and entering the item that is being brought back, the system will automatically mark it as a return. This is marked in orange. Next, you enter the items it's being exchanged for and end sale. The amounts do not have to match on the exchange. Anything more will have the option to pay the rest. Anything less will let you give the difference in change. First, we will be doing a purchase. On this screen, it shows all the previous purchases. By clicking in the black box and pressing enter, we can create a new purchase. For the first demonstration, we will be creating a new client. All the information entered here gets saved to the Easyas client database and gets pulled up automatically when selling to this client again. When adding an item, it can be assigned a category department and make. Item description is the name Stockmaster will be using to identify the product. Item detail gets printed on the docket. This field is used for noting issues with the item being bought. A serial number can be added as well as the bin location you will be using to store the item in your shop. In this demonstration, we have not yet set our markup percentage, so we will fill it in automatically. Once all the items have been added to a docket, we can save it. This will process the items and let you know how much you need to pay out to the client. If the amount is more than what's in your cash register, it will ask you to issue a float. The program will then print the purchase agreement, which needs to be signed by both parties. Here you can see all the details of the items we added and the amount. Next, it's the VAT 264 form. Easyas will fill in most of the form for you to save some time. Next, we will be doing a purchase with all the markups, interests, initiation fees, and service fees. So let's go set those settings first. Here you can set the terms and conditions for your purchases and buybacks. Now we will create a purchase with an existing client and fixed fees and markups. Notice how Easyas fills in all the client's information automatically. Here you can see on the new docket the terms and conditions we added. Next, we will be creating a buyback. The buyback docket shows all the fees as well as the expiration date. The buyback's expiration can be extended for a fee. Here you can choose method of payment and the interest you'd like to charge. Buybacks can be released like purchases, or they can be collected by their original owners. The collection screen resembles the extend screen and works the same way. The fees and costs get auto-calculated, but you can still add your own interest as well. Choosing No will let you transfer the items to Stockmaster. Quarantine release shows all the items you have in quarantine. Here, items ready for release are marked in red, but you can still release items that are not marked for release. This will transfer the items to Stockmaster. Items added from Pawnshop will have their docket number and brackets next to them. These items also have an extra tab with all their purchase information in it. These items disappear when their stock on-hand quantities reach 0. I'm going to sell one of these items to demonstrate. Then I will show you how to mark the item so that it does not disappear when sold. First, we chose the item in Stockmaster we'd like to keep. On the first screen, there is a checkbox for permanent. Tick this. Now watch, I will sell the item and it will stay in Stockmaster. Wholesale purchase is used to load supplier invoices for other stock you might keep in store. In this instance, we will be loading cool drinks into Stockmaster. The laybys work exactly the same. I will do a quick demonstration of payments here just to show. The repair section is used for fixing items brought in by clients. It lets you fill in a job card for their item, add the parts and costs, and directly invoice them from the job card. Full stock button is just a shortcut to your normal stock take screen. The Buy Shop Stock Take button lets you do a stock take for all the items in the Buy Shop. The Pawn Report section has a variety of reports designed for pawn shops. The Pawnshop inquiry can be used to look up dockets or customers, all the purchase information related to it, and even previous dockets. Issue float is self-explanatory. The next section of Easyas we will be exploring is Stock Master. First, we will create a normal stock item. First, we have Price Lookup Code, or PLU for short. This will autofill if not assign something. In the barcode field, you can enter a barcode, generate a random barcode, or leave it open. Description is what the system will be calling your item, and what you search for in the point of sale screen. All items can be sorted under categories for better reports and easier searching. Easyas also has a departments function to sort the items in even more depth. Suppliers is where you ordered you stock from. Preferred supplier is where you prefer to order first from. You can also add the item's bin location and the supplier PLU if preferred. Adding in the cost will auto-fill the other cost field. Filling in the markup will auto-fill the retail price and vice versa. You can set different retail prices to accustom people like pensioners who might get a discount. You can set use stock on hand on this screen via a stock take or reading in a supplier invoice. Next, we have sell by weight items. For these items, PLU codes are very important. They should match the 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th number of the barcode. This is the PLU code used by the scale. Remember to check the sell by weight box and that the retail price is per kilogram and not per pack or item. Pay attention to the barcode I entered. Notice how the PLU matches these 4 numbers. The next 4 numbers will match either your weight or price, depending on how your scale and Easyas settings are set. Next, we have no stock adjust items. These are useful for items that don't need to be kept track of. Having the no stock on hand option will keep your item's stock level at 0. Easyas also does deposit or return items like Coke glass bottles. When creating these, add the retail price before ticking the box. Now watch how the bottle gets subtracted from the invoice amount automatically. Next, we have pack size and bulk items. For this demo's purpose, we will be using a 24-pack. When creating the description, remember to specify the pack size to avoid confusion. The retail price on this screen will be for the entire 24-pack. You will notice after increasing the pack size, a new button appeared. Clicking on it will bring us to the link pack size screen. Here we can set the pack sizes of smaller packs. In this instance, it will be a 6-pack and singles. Remember to change their descriptions accordingly. Notice the stock on hand of the bulk item has been set to 3. Now we will sell a 6-pack and a single to demonstrate how the pack size pull from each other. You can go to the bulk item in Stock Master. Click on the Stock on Hand wording and it will tell you how much of each we have left. Double-clicking on an item will open the edit screen. In this pop-up screen, you can see and edit all the stock item settings that we just went through. You can also adjust the stock on hand quantity here, as well as change all the retail and cost prices. If you need to reprint a barcode or print more barcodes for your items, you can do it here as well. Easyas also has a reorder function which will let you know when a stock item drops underneath its reorder level. The information screen keeps track of things like the last time stock was loaded, from where you bought the stock, how much has been sold, and so forth. It also has a couple of settings, including 2 of the 3 promotion settings for stock items. We will dive into those later. Next, I will show you how recipes work in Easyas. For the demonstration, we will be going over a basic chicken and mayo sandwich. I have already created all the items, but you will have to create all the items you plan on using. Notice it's mayo per kilogram, which means 0.250 will be 250 grams of mayo. The slices of bread will be 1 for the top and 1 for the bottom. And then we add the chicken. 0.5 equals 500 grams of chicken. I'll now sell one of these sandwiches to show how it has decreased all the items in the recipe builder by the amount set. Easyas also has a linked item feature, mostly used in repair shops to link compatible parts to each other in case one is out of stock and the other one could work. For this instance, we will be using 2 laptop screens that I linked together. When I enter one into the point of sale, it pulls up a list of the items linked to it. Here you can choose to use the original item or one of the linked items. The multi-code function we use to keep track of items that might fall underneath the same item, but each needs to be kept track of individually. Engines, VIN numbers, or electronics with serial numbers are good examples of this. We will be using a cell phone as an example. The item code is a unique PLU assigned specifically to that item. This is usually a serial number. See how there are 3 of the same items but with different codes. Now let's sell one of them. These items can only be sold by entering the item code. Now we will cover the rest of the buttons on the screen, starting with delete. You can also just press the delete button on your keyboard. The Global Ops button opens a bunch of settings and commands that will help you make big changes to the Stock Master. You can view your different departments, categories, and suppliers. Here you can add and delete them as well. Stockmaster is sortable by any of the columns shown. Just simply click on any one and it will sort by that column. You can also search for something by different columns by clicking on the magnifying glass, choosing the desired column and then typing in the search. Your search also does not need to follow up on each other. For instance, I can type wind in 24, and it will still find the wind hook 24 pack. Your search also does not need to follow up on each other. For instance, I can type wind in 24, and it will still find the... Next, we have the note screen. First, let's create a new note by clicking on the plus. If you want to assign the note to existing client, tick the text box and then fill in the note. At the bottom, we have a couple options. First, we can make the note private, which means other users will not be able to see the note. You can also set a reminder for the note, and Easyas will give you a notification at the specified time. You can double-click on existing notes to edit them. Next, we are going to be looking at the client's database. Let's add a new client. Here you will see all the information Easyas can keep track of for you. From names, numbers, VAT and CK numbers, emails, addresses, even ID photos. Each client can be set to different retail levels, be given a fixed discount percentage, and a credit can be set for them. All of this is editable afterwards as well by double-clicking on the client you would like to edit. Here you can see the client we just created. Almost all of the fields on the screen are editable. On the information screen, you can set the retail level the client pays and view additional information. The contact screen shows the different contact people at the client. Easyas has a built-in message function. Here you have two options. Normal SMS, which uses Win SMS to send messages. You will need an existing Win SMS account and credits. Alternatively, you can use WhatsApp. The only requirement for WhatsApp is that WhatsApp Web is installed on the computer and the number you wish to message from is logged in. Let's switch over to an older client so I can demonstrate what the rest of the buttons at the bottom do. First, we have the purchase history. This shows all cash sales done on the client's account. Then we have journals. Here you can do journal entries as well as set the date for when they took place. Next, we have Reconcile. Here you can manually assign payments to invoices. Our last button is Transactions. This button shows a statement of all account sales and payments which can be mailed to the client. Now we will cover the rest of the functions. You can delete any client. It will get rid of the transaction history of that client when deleting. The check mark will show all outstanding accounts, and the $sign will let you make bulk payments. The WhatsApp button lets you send bulk WhatsApps for things like promos. The calendar can be used to set up jobs, appointments, or reminders for things like quotations. The phone book can be used for general numbers like police number, hospitals, and more. The next step is orders. First, I'll show you how to create a new entry. You can add the item by PLU or barcode. Alternatively, you can press F2 and search for the item. Remember, black is for barcodes and PLUs, white is for searching via description. Once your item has been selected, choose its supplier and quantity. You can also set the cost price. Double-clicking on an order will open the edit screen. Here you can change details and suppliers in case your supplier doesn't have stock and you order from another supplier. You can delete the orders one by one or click on the nuke button and remove all the orders all at once. Now I'll show you how to add orders from the reorder notification on the home screen. Another way to add an order is the Order by Supplier button. On this screen, you can select your supplier and it will show all the stock assigned to them. This makes ordering multiple items a bit easier. To create the purchase orders, you need to select the correct supplier and click on the green order button. Here you can enter a note for the supplier and your preferred delivery address. The supplier screen works a lot like the client screen. Let's add a new supplier. Here you can add all your supplier details, including things like account numbers, contact person, VAT numbers, and more. The suppliers have the same buttons as the clients do as well, and essentially work the same. Transactions keep track of all payments and invoices, and statements can be printed here. In journals, you can do payments and debit and credit entries. In Reconcile, you assign the payments to invoices. Next, we will be going through the important parts of the processing tab. Starting with Load Return Stock. In the top left, you can choose Load or Return. Then we choose our supplier. We can mark this as a cash on delivery supplier and/or a non-stock invoice. If you have to load multiple invoices from a certain supplier, you can tick Keep Current Supplier, and it will keep that supplier selected after the invoice is done. You can set the date of the invoice, the supplier invoice number, and then the invoice total. This can be marked as including or excluding VAT. Click on Continue and start adding items being loaded. Black for PLU and barcodes, white for searching. When the item is open, you can set categories, departments, and preferred supplier. Enter the amount of units ordered, unit cost, and new retail price. When done, press Save. Notice in the bottom left, it shows the amount on the invoice currently under total loaded, and then the difference between what you said will be the total. This helps with discrepancies when loading invoices. Next, you can generate payslips for your employees in Easyas. Almost all the fields are editable in here. By double-clicking on the fields, you can enter descriptions and amounts. Now, I will show you the full stock take. You have to add all your stock items and quantities before continuing. I will be leaving out an item on purpose to show how the variance report works. The variance report shows you all the items in Stockmaster that don't match the stock take. Notice how all the items that weren't in the original stock take are added now. You can also do a stock take for only controllable items. If you don't need to do a full stock take, you can do a rapid stock take. Under the View tab, you will see some things we have already done or skipped perhaps. First, let's look at quotes. Here you can double-click a quote to see and resend the quote. You can also click the Edit Process button. Here you can change the quote and resend it, or you can change the transaction type and end sale to process it. Supplier Invoice Loaded is used to see all the invoices you have previously loaded. Under Purchase Orders, you can see the orders we created earlier. Let's process one of them. You can enter the amounts and invoice number here, and it will automatically pull through to the Supplier Invoice Loaded. I will do another one just to demonstrate that the system will amend the invoice if there are less delivered than originally ordered. Next, I'll show you the vouchers screen. Here you can edit existing ones, delete them, or create new ones. Sales marked for delivery will be added to the deliveries list. Once completed, you can come mark them as completed here. Under Utilities, we have things like Invoice Lookup. This is used to look up old invoices and resend them. The Promo Editor is used to make group promotions. For example, we have Pringles on sale. Buy any 2 for 40. Stock on Promo Viewer just shows all the stock on promotion. Barcode Label Printer utility is used to create and print custom barcodes to a certain extent. Easyas also provides a variety of reports. We won't be delving into them, but you can pull report on almost anything through one of these. Under the Management tab, you will find Daily Totals. Here you can view a report of all the money you have made and spend after the last cash up, all the invoice done for this cash up, and all the items in those invoices. You can also delete an invoice here. This is permanent, so be careful. Also note that after you have cashed up, an invoice cannot be deleted. Next, there is the cash up. There are 3 ways to get here. From the point of sale, if you click on More and Cash Up, clicking on the Cash Up button on the Daily Total screen and this button, Here you can set if you want to cash up all terminals or just a specific one. On the Cash Up Count screen, you can add all the amounts for today's sales. In the month-end procedure, you can age client balances, email client statements, and view reports related to month-end. Adjust float changes the float on the current terminal. Global Float lets you change the float on any terminal. Lastly, we have Manage Users. Here you can create, edit, and delete users. Admin user is a default account that can't be deleted. It has permissions to everything. The admin user's password can be changed. There are two templates for users, admin and user. Each user setting can be set individually as well. On the top, you will see Enroll Biometrics. This is where we set up the fingerprints for signing in. Next, we have timesheets. Users can log in and out from the sign-in screen or by clicking the button on the home screen. Here you can see me clocking in and clocking out. Clicking in Management in the top left will open the screen where you can view, edit, and process timesheets. I'll demonstrate how to add times manually and how to remove them. The hourly wages can be set in Manage Users under each user individually. Next, we will cover some of the more important setting in Easyas. First, Business Info. Here you can set your tax percentage, address, and more. You cannot change your business name here. If you do want to change, please contact Easyas support. Under the Logo section, you can add your logo. This is the logo that will show on your invoices and slips. Banking details can be added as well. Under the Software section, you can view when your software expires, when you signed up, and other little details. In email, you can set where the Cash Up reports go to. There are also a couple other reports you can set to auto-email depending on how often you want them and which ones you need. Under Messages, we can set the messages that show on your slips, quotes, invoices, laybys, and so forth. You can also set up Telegram to send you more logs directly to your phone. Ask your friendly support agent on how to do this. Next, under System Settings, we can set a variety of things. Customizing easy as to your needs. On the main screen, the noteworthy settings are VAT calculation and day-end procedures. Under Parameters, there are a bunch of settings to play with. I will only be skimming over them. Caution is advised. Under the Appearance tab, you can set things like which columns show on certain screens. This is also where we change the modular button we mentioned in the beginning of the video.